Welcome, everyone, to Countable and Non-countable Nouns, a gateway to Quantifiers, the podcast where English teachers talk to English teachers. I am Paola, and today I'm joined by my friend Mafe.
Hi, Paola. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be here again. I love today's topic because honestly, countable and non countable nouns are one of those things that look simple but can be surprisingly tricky for our students.
Exactly, especially with young adults between 20 and 25 who already know a lot of English but still hesitate when they have to decide between much and money, or when they say things like information and furnitures.
Yes, I've heard advices more times than I can count. But it's also a fun topic to teach because you can make it so practical. I once asked my students to list everything they had in their backup and decide what was countable or not. It turned into a surprisingly deep discussion about knowledge versus facts.
I love it that. It's all about showing them that grammar is not just roulette. It's about how we perceive the word, what can be counted as what can't. Muffin, before we get too serious, I want to start with a quick game I use with students when introducing quantifiers.
Oh, I love games. What it's about?
I ask them how much coffee do you drink every day and how many cups. It's funny because everyone answers differently. And it helps realize that coffee and not countables, bad cups of coffee or countable.
Yes, that's great. I usually do something similar, but with snacks. I ask how many cookies do you eat in a week, or for example, how much water do you drink? It gets them thinking about countable and non-countable nouns naturally.
Exactly, it's a relaxed way to introduce the concept without immediately jumping into grammar rules.
Segment number 1, Essential Grammar.
Okay, let's start with the basics. When we talk about countable nouns, we mean things we can count individually, like apples, chairs, and cars.
Right. And not countable nouns are things we see as whole or mass, like water, rice, happiness, or information.
Exactly. I like to remind students that countable nouns have both singular and plural forms, while non-countables ones don't. So we can say one share, two shares, but no one furniture, two furnitures.
And that's where quantifiers come in. Once a student understands the accountability of a noun, they can use quantifiers correctly. For example, many shares, bad bush furniture.
Yes, I sometimes use visuals to clarify this point. Two baskets on the board, one labeled countable and one non-countable. We place word cards inside each one. It's simple, but students remember the difference.
Yes, and no for abstract nouns like advice, information, or knowledge. It helps it show real context. And for example, instead of saying advice, we can say or piece of the advice or some advice.
Yes, that's a great point, and it also leads to cultural awareness. Many of our students translate directly for Spanish, where consejos is plural, so it feels natural for them to say advices.
Absolutely. Understanding why they made the mistake helps you address it more effectively.
Segment number 2, dynamic strategies.
So, how do you make this topic engaging, Paola?
Well, I usually connect it to students' everyday lives. One of my favorite activities is the ideal apartment. It gives them a budget and a shopping list. They have to decide what to buy and then describe it using quantifiers correctly. Some furniture, a few chairs, a little decoration.
Yes, that's brilliant. It combines vocabulary, grammar, and speaking in a meaning context.
Exactly. Another idea is what is to in the price. Students imagine open their fridge and describe it. There's some meals, a few eggs, a little butter, and simple but helps with spontaneous speaking.
Yes, I love that one too. I also like using debates. For example, do we need more money or more time? They have to use quantifiers naturally during discussion. Much time, more money, a few hours. It becomes authentic language practice.
That is great way to push them to influence for readings and sometimes ask them to write a minimalist change the diary. For on week, they write about now like they use like a little water, a few chlorides, etc. It builds awareness and creativity.
Yes, that's amazing. It makes grammar meaningful. Students aren't just filling blanks, they're expressing ideas.
Segment number 3, common students' mistakes.
Now, let's talk about the mistakes we see most often.
The classic one, using many or few with non-countable nouns like many money or few information.
Oh, yes, the one never fades. I always reminds them if you can't count it, you can use many of a few. Instead, use much or little.
Exactly. And the reverse happens too. They use much with plural nouns. For example, much shares, much people, each others.
If find it helpful to make a cute chart together. Countable, many, few, several, of number of. Uncountable, much, little, a bit, of depth.
That's a great classroom tip. Also, pronunciation confusions students often say and informations because they think information behaves like idea.
Yes, I've noticed they do better when they use real examples. For instance, I need some information about this course. Instead, I need and information.
Totally. Repetition in context make it stick.
Segment number 4, creative homeworks.
Let's share some homework ideas teachers can use right away.
Sure, all my favorite is the research challenge. Students bring a simple result and rate it using quantifiers. A little sugar, a few tomatoes, much salt. It's funny and relatable.
That's great. I do something similar, but with my weekly expenses, they track their spending and describe it. I spend a little money on food, a few dollars on entertainment, and too much on coffee.
That sound accurate for most of us. And the nice thing is that these tags help them use quantifiers in context, not just grammatically but personally.
Exactly. And you can even have them record short videos explaining their projects for extra speaking practice.
Segment number 5, closing with experiences and assessments.
Before we wrap, make what your best memory teaching task topic.
I think it was when one of my students finally said, "Now, I get why we can't say furnitures." He was so proud. Sometimes it's those little moments that remind us why we teach.
I love that. For me, is when students start correcting each other naturally during class. That's when I know they've internalized it.
Exactly. And for assessment, I like using short, practical tasks rather than tests, things like mini presentations or visual charts, comparing countable and non-countable nouns.
That's perfect. I keeps the evaluation authentic.
Well, okay, Paola, that's all for today's episode of Countable and Non-countable Nouns, a gateway to quantifiers. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, teachers. Remember, help your students see grammar in action, not just memorize. In until next time.
Bye.